Hey everyone, I know what you're thinking. Where have I been? Where was the mind-blown Monday? What happened to me? Where did I go? Where was I? None of you even noticed, did you? None? No. Well, I've been gone for a bit, and that's because I was working on a very specific thing. Very important thing. Very important business trip I had to take to make this video right here. That's right, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I did a collab with Jake Paul. Roll the footage. Came back the other day, sitting right where he was.
Oh, this is his table?
It was the same area.
Oh, it's his table.
Got it. Yep. That's right. Total collab with him. I filmed him. He made a goofy face in my video, and then I sat in the same area that he did. We're practically best friends right now. Total collab. No, but seriously, I was on a trip to New York with my family, and Jake Paul just happened to accidentally be there, so I got some footage of him, and I thought it would be funny to do all this. Yeah. But yeah, I was on a trip, so that's why there weren't any videos, because I was on a weekly trip. No, on a trip that was a week long. So yeah, no videos. And I'm doing this comeback video, and we're doing all the and Sebastian tropes. Clickbait title, clickbait thumbnail, and now, I went on a trip to New York. Oh, you think the video is gonna be about the trip to New York, right? No, actually it's not, because I wasn't a big fan of New York. It wasn't really my thing, wasn't the biggest thing. Wouldn't really recommend it to people, but you know what I would recommend? Watching the movie I watched on the way, on the flight to New York, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Yep, that's right. You think it's about one thing, and now it's just about some nerdy thing that I'm passionate about. Welcome to the channel. So yeah, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's what this video is going to be about. I love this movie, and it is a very weird movie that has some interesting talks about it. People aren't really sure what to feel about this movie. Some people love it, some people are like, it's a little weird. And definitely, it is a bizarre movie. It is a very interesting, bizarre one, but that is why I love it so much. If you look into the history of the making of the film, it was actually made during a time where the two creators, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, the two main creators, they were at the lowest points of their lives, the darkest points, and thus this film is aggressive and dark, and it just pounds you again and again and again, and it just never stops. The film is more of a roller coaster than most other films. It pretty much just takes off and never stops. It just keeps going from there. The tension never stops. The intensity of it, it just never stops. Every second in the film, once it gets going, everyone is pointing fingers at each other, whether they're just yelling at each other or whether they're threatening each other. From the get-go, everyone is at each other's throats, and it never stops. Even in calm situations, people are still pointing fingers and still bitching each other down. It never stops. And honestly, I kind of love it. I kind of love it because it just gets to the point. You know, when you watch Indiana Jones, or you watch like James Bond or something like that, you know, one of those action flicks with the badass star of it all, do you really want to watch the romance scenes? Do you really want to watch like all the explanation stuff of, okay, here's what's really going on and this and that. The real magic behind everything is this, blah, blah, blah. Do you really care about all that? Or do you just want to see the guy kick some ass already? And that's the point. And that's why I love that film so much. It just gets to the point. We're not going to waste your time with this. We're not going to waste your time with that. And I get that some people may criticize it for that, because it's like, yeah, especially the romance in the movie, it's very weird. It's very quick, and it doesn't really feel like real romance. It just feels like, hey, we're two people in a situation in which we may die. Maybe we should hook up or something, I don't know. But it's just a roller coaster, it's just going, so there's not really time for us to settle down and have a romance between us. We're just like, hey, I hate you, but I kind of love you. Like, maybe we should make out a little bit, I don't know. Let's go do this other thing now. And it just doesn't take a second to really set things down, and honestly, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Willie in this movie is the most annoying character. Nobody really likes her character. I'm with the people saying that. I don't really like her character that much, so I wouldn't have liked the whole romance plot with her. I like that it's like, just shut up and go. Let's not waste our time. Let's get going. And what I like about the movie is it doesn't hold back. It shows you everything. I saw this movie as a kid, and by God, I never forgot it. I never forgot the first time I saw one creepy Molaram guy rip another man's heart out and then send him to the depths of hell as a sacrifice to a demon. I never forgot when I saw that. That was stuck in my brain forever. And I kind of love that about the film. It is aggressive and weird, and you will never forget it. You were like, wow. Yeah, gonna remember that one. And I like the uniqueness of it. The other Indiana Jones movies, we don't talk about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull here, we don't do that, but the other two Indiana Jones movies, he's fighting the Nazis in them. And I get it, the Nazis are good villains. Good villains. I mean, they're historically looked at like the biggest villains in actual real-life history. So good villains. But it's a little overdone. So yeah, this movie does it a little bit different. Unlike the other two movies where he's fighting the Nazis, they had to do something a little different here. But then again, I mean, this one's coming off after Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, next movie after that one. It is a prequel, but it came out after it, so what are you gonna do after he was fighting the Nazis? I mean, who's the next opponent after that? And they said, we're gonna make the creepiest cult ever. They're gonna be the craziest people of all time, and you are gonna be super scared of these guys. We have to make them just the most grubby, disgusting people ever. They do human sacrifices, they rip people's hearts out, they mess with voodoo dolls, and they enslave children to mine for them. They're about as evil as you can get. They make people drink creepy blood stuff so that they become a part of their cause. They could like brainwash them with weird blood stuff. It's crazy. And I love it for that. I love it for that. When it comes to like the Nazi stuff, all you have to really do to establish them as a villain is say, they're Nazis. They do Nazi stuff. There you go. Now you get it. He's a villain. You don't have to set up a whole backstory about him, a bunch of this, show him doing bad stuff. All you gotta say is like, he's a Nazi. He does Nazi stuff. Enough said. He's already a villain by that point. But this one, they had to really show you. They had to establish and show you how messed up these people are, and by God, I liked seeing that. I liked seeing how screwed up these guys are, how dark everything is, and damn it, you were rooting for Indy to beat these guys up after you saw that stuff, because these guys are creepy weirdos, and they deserved to get beat up after what they did. So yeah, love the film, fantastic stuff. And you know, after watching this movie and going on that New York trip, I thought about it for a bit, and I started to realize, maybe there's actually a connection between this film and New York. Because, I mean, there were child slaves and, it's a creepy cult running the place, making all the decisions. They rip your heart and soul out. They do human sacrifices. And, yeah, I'm starting to wonder, kind of reminds me a little bit of New York in a way. Yeah, weird. Is an Indy 5 confirmed? Maybe that should be the plot of Indy 5. He goes to New York and there's a creepy cult there. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. The movie may have been a little above its time, too, because I don't know, it came out in the 80s. I don't know if there was, like, a lot of cult activity then, but, like, today, there's some cults, and they do some creepy stuff. We know there's some creepy people out there. So, yeah. Great film. Loved it. Would recommend it. Wouldn't recommend going to New York, but would recommend watching Temple of Doom. And I played the Lego games as a kid, too. The Lego Indiana Jones games. And I had the Lego set for the Temple of Doom. My grandparents got me that, so it holds a place in my heart. And I loved the games, and I loved that set. That set was the best set. I'll fight you on it. Hey, George Lucas, I emailed you like 15 years ago, Star Wars script thingy. If you want me to do a script for Indy 5, I'm in, man. I'll totally send you stuff. Yeah. But, yeah, that's all I got for today. Make McChickens, not war.